I have to tell you something exciting. Well, not exciting, but interesting that I learned yesterday.
What? What? What are you going to tell me?
I'm gonna. Hang on. Wait, go back to what you're doing for a second. Moment. I have to do fact check.
Nothing. Oh, you know what would be good with this?
So, I wanted to tell you this because it was very interesting. So, yesterday, when Alfonso and I and all the group went to, what was that, Georgina Pounds? Georgina Pounds. There was a traveling exhibit there, and then there was like all the stuff in the back. It was like the regular stuff, right? So, in there was this painting outfitted here. And it was my favorite. It's by Sofia Bassi. And neither of us had heard of her before, but she's a Mexican artist who was like very prevalent in the 70s. I think it said like 40s to 90s, I believe, until she passed. But her work in particular, I was like really, really drawn to. And I was like, this is my favorite. And then the girl that was there, she was really kind. Her name was Frederica. We had followed each other as well. But she was like, I love to talk about her, I'm happy. So I learned after you walked away with Hannah. So Sofia Bassi, she, with like those works specifically, they're the only gallery that works exclusively with her estate. And they work directly with her granddaughter.
Okay.
Right? And her granddaughter is, they're like very spiritual because Sofia Bassi was like very, very spiritual. And so every time they get first right of refusal, whenever something comes up, like at auction or anything like that, or to buy. And then I wanted to let you know that those pieces we were looking at, the two in that one room, my favorite, the Femme gallery or Femme museum, which is like, she said, it's like literally the most important women's collective on the planet. It's in Marseille. And so they bought it.
No way.
Yeah, they bought both of those and they bought 3 more as well from them. So they're going to be on display in May, so you can go see them there. And she said it's huge because like they only work with women and highlight women's art. And so like it's like huge that they bought her stuff. And also I found out that her granddaughter, she's also like continuing like the witchy spiritual vibe. And so every time a piece is bought, they do like a ritual. And it has to be like cool. It has to be like very specific of like the way that they want it handled and make sure it's right for like, I guess what would honor Sofia Bassi, which is really cool. And then when I looked her up, so she described her creative process as a form of alchemy, aiming to transform suffering into creative protest. I'm like, dude, that is like my thing. But we had no idea who this person was before. And so I'm like, this is a perfect testament of like, you know, what resonates with you is just like through and through. And I thought that was so fucking rad.
I know.
To share with you.
No, it's really cool. Also for me, I could really see the thread with Leonora Carrington.
Yeah.
I'm like,
actually, when I first plugged it in to Google, but I was seeing what that actual painting was called after she told me because I couldn't remember. It came up as that verse. It said it looks like it's this.
Right, but I just like think it's such like a beautiful thread of like really strong, powerful, surrealistic female artists that are like just building on each other. But the fact that Femme bodied it's so cool. I'm kind of envious, but I'm happy for them. I didn't know about Sofia Bassi at all, so I just love that I got to discover something else, especially like this surrealist vein in women's art is like I think it's so underappreciated. There were like the article I sent you by Dr. Marx. You should really read it because she also speaks about the fact that even though surrealism started freeing women artists, they like the surrealists were still seeing women as muses instead of like practitioners or peers.
Oh, right.
So artists like Leonora Carrington and Sofia Bassi are like actually critical to all that movement, but were not really accepted or even respected by the big surrealists because they were like muses.
Yeah.
You know, and like also like hysterical women, like they just like the article really says that they were seen as muses because women were seen as easier to engage with the crazy part of life. So hysteria, like, you know, it's like yet another thing where it's like more an object of inspiration rather than peerage.
Right.
But then when you see Leonora, when you see Sofia Bassi, you see like there's like some serious intellectual rigor that I think these are great news. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I know. So cool. And then I also, Frederica, she was so lovely. And she was like, if you ever want to talk about her more, like just like reach out and stuff. But after she shared that with me, she also shared that she was, she did a lot of her paintings in prison while she was in prison. And she took the fall for a murder she didn't commit. 5 years in prison.
Sofia Bassi?
So she was painting most of the time in prison for something that she didn't do. And she maintained an active career despite incarceration, painting her first mural in prison in Acapulco.
It's like the ultimate artist residency.
Yeah. So cool. It's so cool. So now that she's passed on, like, you know, her stuff it was privately owned more so before, and now it's kind of like popping up here and there. But it was just like very, it was a very cool moment. Like, it's kind of like what Hannah was talking about last night about like trusting yourself and like what you like resonate with. And it was just like something that was like, this is so like powerful to me. It's like my
like
stuff,
a path
my
for
vein,
you to follow,
right?
really.
And it was like so interesting that out of the fucking whole thing, that thing was like the thing that resonated with me the most, and like her story. You know what I mean? It was just, like, and I had no idea about it. It's just like really, really fucking cool.
It is.
Look how cool Virginia looks back there reading, like a muse and an artist. No, you look great.
I feel like it's been so cool also and informative for your practice. And I mean, you already know what you trust and what you're searching for, but also seeing the people that came before you that have so much strength. And it's nice to know that like their path is not like you don't have to like just go alone at it, you know, but you can be inspired by these like titanesses of art who I think are like just incredible.
And that's like the other thing I was thinking about too, because that's like part of my storyline, right? Especially in this first series of 5. In that one, and the second piece especially, you're gonna really see that eventually, whenever I have.
Oh, then we should make sure to like once you release like the work that we tag both their estates.
Yeah.
You know, because like I mean, not like just to honor them as well.
Yeah, it is, and like it's more like also that that's the part of the storyline of like this is kind of like the whole vein, right? That like even though you feel alone, like you're like you have to think about like all the women that came before. Yeah. And that's like one of the main important parts of my work. It's like, you know, it does feel like they're like backing you.
Of course.
And my experience has been just so inspiring because I'm like seeing inspiration everywhere.
Yeah.
You know? Do you feel like that, Virginia? Oh my God. Like just like everywhere is inspiring. It's been such a beautiful people. Yeah. Also
just because like we've been like together with artists all the time, so it's like I mean you it's different because you're not visiting us, you're not tourists, you're like coming here to like gain inspiration, inform your practice. It's a different way of approaching art. Like you're not here to visit, you're here to operate within. And that changes everything. I think it's been great. I'm extremely happy.
Me too. We should go to France and go to FAM and see the rest of it.
So that we can do that, please buy Virginia's and Kay's art.
Frederica said it'll be there.
So that we can afford it.
Okay, bye.